tell us a little bit about your background. Tell us about, kind of your parents. Were you raised in technology? Tell us about kind of where you grew up and some of the things that about your kind of early years.
Sure. So, as you mentioned, I grew up in Des Moines. I don't know if anyone here is from Iowa. Awesome. Yeah, I grew up in Des Moines. My folks are both doctors. They have a family practice. Actually, both my sisters are doctors as well. So, actually, growing up, I always assumed I was going to be a doctor too. And yeah, I think that my parents are really open-minded. They're really curious people, but we definitely weren't really into technology. I think my dad still has a big stack of like VCRs that he uses. Yeah. He refuses to go digital. He's like it's not safe. But yeah, that's my background.
And so were you fascinated by different things? Were you a tinkerer? You're not you're not an engineer by trade, right? But what was your thinking? Did you think you'd end up after? Did you go to school thinking you'd be a doctor, or did that change along the way? Where did that change?
Yeah, so I went to school. I thought I was going to be a doctor. As a kid, I was really into nature and I was really into science. So I worked in labs growing up. I don't know. I collected like leaves and insects and stuff like that. Yeah, and I think that I was just going through college, just sort of assuming I'd be a doctor, not really thinking that hard about it. And I think probably between my junior and senior year, I realized that maybe I didn't want to be a doctor. And I think if there's ever a job that you should be 100% in on, it's definitely being a doctor. So I think at that point, it's just sort of like lost at sea.
And were you planning to do pre-med? I mean, was that your major? What did you study at Yale?
Yeah, I'd taken a lot of the pre-med classes, all the science classes, and then I was also really interested in political science. I just think it's really cool that you have all these people in the world and you can create these sets of rules that help them sort of coexist. It's like an operating system for people. So yeah, I was really interested in political science as well.